What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Weekly Words. I pray that these last couple of weeks have been great for you and that God has been able to set a clear path for you to live out the vision He's given you and the goals and plans you have, not just for 2022, but your life, so that you can reach and live on purpose. So, as we continue our conversation about our visions, our goals, our purpose, and working towards that, I wanted to talk today about times whenever things don't go as planned, or things are not as ideal as we want to, or whenever we have to face adversity, all the things that we love in life. And it made me think about a question I heard in last year in a show called Insecure. And it's a question that I know that I've had throughout my life, and I know that lots of people listening and watching have had as well. The main character, Issa, she asked the question, can I just skip to the part of my life when everything is good? And I was like, yo, that question really resonates with me. There's been so many times whenever things haven't gone as planned, or maybe I've failed, or things aren't going smoothly, or I'm stressed out, or I'm in a negative mind space. Just essentially anything that wasn't deemed good. I'm like, yo, let's fast forward past this, right? Let's fast forward to the point when I'm successful. Let's fast forward to the place when I'm over this person. Let's fast forward to the place whenever I have the promotion. Let me fast forward to the place where I'm good, right? I understand that feeling. So can we do that? Well, keep the answer completely short, no, we can't. We don't have that ability. We don't have a magical remote like in the movie Click, where we can fast forward, pause, and rewind to different moments and places in our lives. But even though the answer is no to that question, today I want to encourage anyone who's in that space where adversity seems like it's just keeping you down. The stress seems like it's keeping you down, and you're confused because you've set these goals and God has given you this vision or this promise of where you're supposed to be, and the circumstance right now is not showing evidence of that, right? So what happens whenever we're sitting in that place of adversity, or that place of less than ideal, trying to get to our promise? Well, let's look in the Bible. I think about King David, right? Whenever he was anointed to be king, whenever he was 17 years old, he did not immediately go to the palace of the throne. He didn't even get fast forward there, which would have been years later. He went right back to the regular old pasture. Now, in those times, that'll be equivalent to us going to just some regular desk job, or some regular job that is not aligned with our purpose or our fulfillment at all. Just regular, right? So he went right back to the pasture. And now imagine getting told that you're going to be the greatest person in authority in your country, going right back to this regular old job, right? So he was doing that. But here's the thing. In the pasture was the place whenever he had the opportunity to show his ability to steward what he was given authority over, and do what he could in that moment with what he had in that moment as well. It was in the pasture that David came up against the lion and the bear, which gave him the experience and the confidence that he needed to be able to fight Goliath, which propelled him into so many other avenues of authority within Israel. And even furthermore, after that, he still was not on the palace. He still was fighting for his life. See, King Saul got jealous and was trying to kill him. And David had to flee into the wilderness for years, right? But in the wilderness, his character was developed, because he had multiple opportunities to harm King Saul, to kill King Saul, but he followed God's words, and he was obedient, and he said he would not hurt the one who was anointed by God. So in David's journey to get to his promise, his throne that God anointed him for, his strength was developed. His character was developed. His stamina was developed. His mindset was developed. So many times we tell ourselves that we will handle a situation a certain way until we get to that situation and we realize, oh, shoot, the temptation to do it the easy way is strong. Or I'm not ready or prepared for this, right? How much would you hate it or love it for you to get to what your promise is, your throne, and you're not ready, right? the journey is what gets us ready for that. So let's even go back to the movie Click, right? And if you haven't seen it, spoiler alert, but hey, the movie's like 15 years old, so if you haven't seen it by now, what are you doing? Anyways, in the movie, Adam Sandler, he wants to fast forward to when he gets promoted. He wants to fast forward past sickness, and the remote starts to go on autopilot and starts fast forwarding throughout his life until he finds out right when he's about to die. And he's like, dang, I wish I would have seen my children grow up. I wish I would have made it work with my wife. And he has all these things he wish he would have done. And he essentially goes back to him being present in the journey. So even though we ask ourselves the question, can I fast forward to when everything's good? I think we deep down know that, you know what, we're going to miss out on a lot in life, because life is a journey, not a destination. So for anyone today who is in a space of less than ideal, negative, unhappy, circumstances not matching the promise that God has given you, your vision, your goals, whatever the case may be, I want to encourage you today. Maybe you're just in the pasture. Maybe you're just in the wilderness, and God is using that to prepare you to receive your throne, your promise, right? Like I said a couple weeks ago, we have greatness in that. We are God's handiwork. Excuse me. We are God's handiwork. We have greatness inside of us. And what if this circumstance we're in now is just pulling that greatness out of us? So take a minute, think about where you're going, where you are, where you want to be, and the goals that you have. And even if it doesn't look promising in this moment for your circumstances, maybe there's opportunity in this circumstance to prepare you to receive those things in your future.